This is Heart to Heart with Sibongile Mofokeng on Radio Pulpit. Heart to Heart.
Get your daily bread and also your faith in practice. It's 657 AM. The sounds of life.
Kusukela enhlizweni yethu ukuya kweyakho. Radio Pulpit 657 AM. Umngani wakho imihla ngemihla.
Sport transforms young people's lives. It brings them hope, develops their skills, and teaches them self-discipline. But too often, children's dreams are shattered by the lack of sports equipment and sports clothing. You can now donate your new or used sports equipment and sports clothes for athletics, soccer, cricket, netball, and rugby. But please give them a little wash before they meet their new owners. Sports clothes and equipment can be delivered to the Radio Pulpit head office at 42 Yaquibus Street, Kilner Park, Pretoria, from 14 to 22 February. Also contact us at gospel@radiopulpit.co.za.
This is where you at Radio Pulpit, your daily companion, 657 AM. This is where we are on Heart to Heart with me, Sibongile Mofokeng, with you up until 3 o'clock when I say goodbye. In Germany, Johan else takes you through with something else. And afterwards, he continues with you on Spectrum up until 6 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock, he says bye-bye. And it's Tuesday Live with Pastor Reile Khodi. And yes, family, you might be wondering where to advertise. Get your advertising sorted for the year. Receive up to 50% discount included in our Radio Pulpit promotional packages and receive an additional promotional package per month to the same value when you advertise for 6 months or more. And your business package rates start from under 6,000 rands per package. And not only is this a great value, but you also keep Radio Pulpit on the airwaves by advertising with us. Send your details to gospel@radiopulpit.co.za. We will contact you. And alternatively, you can contact us at our client services. And our client services numbers are 012-334-1254. 012-334-1254. You can also SMS the word advertise to 37871 or visit our website at radiopulpit.co.za. Do remember that terms and conditions do apply.
Passionate about God, passionate about people. Radio Pulpit 657 AM, your daily companion. Download our mobile app or visit radiopulpit.co.za to listen to your favorite station 24 hours a day.
24/7 on this year. And no, I did promise the family that I will be talking to the tax Ombud, the tax office. Let me just say it correctly. The office of the tax Ombud. Yes, putting it correctly. And I'm talking to the specialist communication and outreach in Tate Russel, Mamabolo. Hi, sir. How are you?
Hi, Sibongile, I'm good. And yourself?
I am blessed of the Lord. Welcome to Radio Pulpit and the family of Radio Pulpit. We can't wait to learn.
Thank you very much for the welcoming and the greetings to all the listeners out there.
And I see that there's a slogan that says 10 years of making taxpayers' rights matter?
Yes. We are actually trying by all means to say that as much as you are eligible to pay your taxes, there are also tax rights, taxpayers' rights that do matter. And we realize that quite a lot of people are not aware about their taxpayers' rights as taxpayers. And from our side, as the Office of the Tax Ombud, we are trying by all means to popularize this, but also share information in terms of how can, taxpayers who have complaints against us approach us. So taxpayers' rights really do matter.
Now, I'm talking to the Office of the Tax Ombud. Tell us who you are.
Well, the office has been established. We are almost 10 years old now, and we are an impartial and independent body that that has been appointed in terms of the Tax Administration Act, and our sole mandate is to review and and address any complaint by a taxpayer regarding either a service or maybe there's also procedural matters or even administrative issues that taxpayers are exposed to. And that's our job. As long as any complaint that you will have that is against SARS, then we should be able to listen to you and help you.
But now you mentioned SARS somewhere there, and we know SARS to be or as our tax collector. And now Khutlabo tax Ombud vandag.
Yes.
Tell us more about who you are and what exactly do you do? Separated from SARS, because rona re tshaba SARS, man. SARS.
I know, and it's understandable because look, SARS has a clear mandate of collecting revenue. I'm not talking on their behalf, but I'm aware that that's what they do. But we are saying as much as tax is being collected, from taxpayers, from people, that work and so on, let us also make sure that it is not too painful again for them to pay their taxes. And the office has been established for that sole purpose. We only deal with complaints that taxpayers have with SARS, and we are saying as much as you pay the taxes to SARS, they always say give unto Caesar that belongs to. You'll know better that slogan. So we are saying let's make it if you have any complaint, in the process of you paying your taxes, you are lodging a dispute, SARS is not listening to you, or they are saying, wait, we are going to attend to this particular matter for 21 days or so. They don't come back to you. It becomes our problem now. So you will need to know. Definitely, this is when I'm approaching the tax ombud for me to be able to, for them to assist me with this challenge that we have with SARS. I know a lot of people are scared of SARS. SARS is very huge. SARS has a clear mandate, and they are implementing that mandate. But from time to time, in terms of what they have as a service charter, from time to time there might be some issues there and there, from either the team or the system. So that's what we have been established to try and assist taxpayers with all the challenges that they have.
Let me
all the
ask,
complaints they have. Yeah.
Ntate Mamabolo, let me ask this. If I've known some people to have their assets freezed by SARS, and you find they're saying we are still investigating. I've heard of others who went and claimed their returns, and at some point they didn't get the money for a period of time, maybe for 3 months or more, whilst waiting, and SARS keeps saying we are investigating. Now there's another one who says SARS said we find no fault, everything is fine, but they still kept on, like they continued freezing. Can I then, if I'm experiencing that, if Sibongile is talking about me, approach the tax ombud?
Look, what our position is, if you have SARS will do their initiative from their side to communicate with you. If you get any communication that has implication on your tax affairs, you need to take it up directly with SARS.
Okay.
Now, there's a process here. If you take up the matter with SARS and SARS does not listen to you, that they promise to come back to you in so many days, they don't come back to you, or they just ignore you, they don't give you any feedback, then you've got the right to lodge your complaint with a complaint. There's a unit which is called Complaints Management Office within SARS. You no longer talk to that branch person there. You lodge your complaint with the Complaints Management Office. The Complaint Management Office will say, oh, you know what? We're going to look into this matter. We're going to come back to you on this date. If they don't come back to you on that date, you are now our guest, our client. We should be able to take up your matter, and we attend to the matter. By the way, we have access to the SARS system, so we can see everything, all the interaction that you'll be having with SARS, and where the mistakes are, or where, those kind of things. And also, even if you have made a mistake, we will be able to tell you to say, no, here you are mistaken. This is how you are supposed to have managed your tax affairs.
Sure. Now, okay, we're talking, and all right, I'm asking myself a question to say, then if I come to you prematurely, it means you will send me back to SARS because that might happen.
I think the thing is, if I have a problem with you, where do I start? I'm gonna start first with you, isn't it? Yes, and then if you don't listen, or there's no amicable solution, then at least we'll seek, maybe a third party to assist in the process.
That's where you come in, yeah.
That's where we come in there, because we are saying because by you going to the hence there's a different system from where you've been going. You have been going to this branch office. However, the branch person is not coming to your senses, and you're complaining. Then if they can't help you, then you go to the complaints management office. In fact, I've seen some communication. They even changed their contact numbers. They made it available so that everyone who has a complaint, they can call them. However, there may be some communication lapse as well, where if that office is not helping you, then you come to the office of the tax ombud.
All right. Now, who exactly can come and lodge a complaint with you? Can anyone just bring a complaint to your office to be assisted, or kimang? And what type of complaints do you handle as the office of the tax ombud?
Yeah, we have situations where the people are complaining about the service. They'll say call center agents or branch office employees are unprofessional, rude to them, or unhelpful. That's where we handle those cases. Administrative issues, you may find them that they are adamant that they've made such calculations, or the information that SARS has is actually wrong, but you have tried to correct it. Because simple things like that, they look simple, but they have big implications, because then it means your calculations might not be correct or things like that. You lodge the process again, then you become our client as well. And at times we have even cases, extreme cases, where SARS has gone to a bank. You have a debt, and in many instances we also know. But okay, I'll come back to that one. You have a debt. However, SARS go to the bank and take your money and settle that debt directly without informing you. So those processes, those are the things that we say we want to deal with them. But we are aware that in certain instances, like you say, hey, when you hear SARS, then you shiver. People are scared of SARS, but the communication that comes from SARS, just be bold, open that email or check your e-filing and understand. If you don't understand, seek help from a person who understands text, so that they can help you interpret that information correctly. Because you may ignore it, those problems will never be solved. So you have to make sure that you attend to that particular problem. You call them, and they will listen to you and try by all means to help you. If you ignore those messages, then you'll end up with cases where you end up having garnishing orders. You end up at times then you are in extreme problems, because solving those ones is gonna be a challenge.
All right. Here's a question from one of our excellencies, and Tate Kopase.
Good day, Bongi and the Pulpit family. Great show. Good afternoon to your honorable guest. I would like to know what will happen if the Ombud's office finds SARS have done wrong things or irregular things to a taxpayer.
Yeah.
And lastly, I will just like to know what are the outcomes if maybe I was the one who did not comply with the
All
tax
right.
requirements, or what will happen to me also if maybe I lodge a complaint only to find out that it was me who defaulted. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Kenneth
Ntate
Kopase,
Kopas.
Johannesburg, Gauteng.
Thank you, sir. Ntate Mamabolo. So let's start with the irregularities by SARS first before we can look at the taxpayer.
Yes. You see, those irregularities, those are the ones that lead to a complaint. And hence we say, let's go back, let's follow the process again. You are not happy with what SARS has done. You go back to the Complaints Management Office, address, inform them why you are not happy. If they finally don't come back to you, then you come to us. What we do, once the matter is with us, we will first, we have a process as well. We will first look into whether the matter is a valid complaint when we start to implement it, because we would have requested you to fill up a form, because remember, this can be legal issues. If any problems apply, you might want to take us to court or wherever. So we must have a process, formal process that we need to follow. You need to fill up a form. It's a 2-page form which is accessible on our website, www.taxombud.gov.za, and give us information in chronological order, because you might be complaining of a situation of the past, maybe 2015, 2016, 2018. You write that information there to say, these are my issues. Mind you, I indicated that we have access to the SARS system. So once we have satisfied ourselves that this information is valid, we will accept it, and we would have investigated it. We make a very important thing. We make a recommendation to SARS to say, SARS, here with the complaint that we received, and here is our recommendation on how to resolve this matter. And SARS will immediately attend to that particular process. We have not had any cases where SARS has said, no, you see, this one, if they decline to attend to something, there'll obviously be reasons surrounding it. And in many instances, we have had as well that, there might be some people might try tricky things, where certain tax matters have underlying issues. Maybe there's fraud there or things like that. That one we will be notified to say we are still attending to this one. But in terms of the annual report, the last year's annual report, 99% of our recommendations that have been made to SARS, they have implemented that, because we have a very good working relationship with them, and they appreciate the work that we do as well, and hence we are able to resolve many cases that come before us. Now, in terms of the outcomes, if an individual, like the colleague that has just called now, to say that the problem is with me, we do the same. We advise you, here you have made a mistake. This is how you should have made a mistake. Then you have to rectify that mistake. But majority of cases that we get as well, we get people ignore SARS communication. Also, changing of and by the way, it's an obligation. As much as you have rights, but you also have an obligation as a taxpayer to make sure that you update your contact details regularly. Many people, they don't. You find that they say, somebody comes to us to say, look, I have a refund, SARS has not given me a refund, and so on, only to find that when the matter has been looked into, the person did not update his banking details, and it's a problem, So those kinds of issues, we make them aware. Both we, the tax ombud, we make the taxpayer aware of the faults that they may have gone through, and then also on the side of SARS again. But we try to maintain good relations in both, everybody that we engage with, so that we can get finality on this matter.
The repercussions if I haven't complied?
If you have complied, obviously, SARS has their own processes. It is not the OTO's processes. If you do not comply, for an example, you are supposed to pay your debt, but you have not approached SARS to say, look, I can't pay this debt now. Can we make arrangements? You just sit quiet. Obviously, you are going to have penalties. There might even be interest in those, and those interests are heavy, and the penalties are heavy. So it is important to avoid those penalties and so on. Make sure you get into contact with SARS so that you can resolve these issues and make arrangements so that your matters can be finalized much quicker.
All right, I'd like us to go to an ad break, but before we do that, when can the taxpayer then lodge a complaint with the tax ombud?
Well, like as I'm indicating, Sibongile, once you become aware that the feedback that you have received from SARS is not satisfactory, obviously, we don't want to be so aggrieved to an extent that you want to take the matter to court. Obviously, we can't stop you taking the matter to court, but we say the tax ombud is an alternative that one should consider and come to us and then approach us. We'll take you through. If there was a process where you needed to be corrected, you will be informed accordingly. But the majority of people that came through to our office, that we have explained very well, they are very happy with the service. And we've got a newsletter for that matter, that we share regularly. And you can see the stories that we share there. Somebody was not even aware that a VAT refund, if it is accepted but not paid within 21 days after submission, it can earn interest. So people were not even aware of those kind of things. So that is the work that we do from our side to make sure that we give a good service and we assist with tax complaints.
So in terms of the common complaints that are there by family members, because I love calling Radio Pulpit family members, by taxpayers, tell us about the common ones that are there that you have recorded to date.
Yeah, the common tax complaints that we have is, for an example, where the delays in paid refunds, payment of refunds. Normally, when you submit your tax return, and if you have to receive a refund, that refund SARS will normally pay it within 72 hours. However, you may find that it was a delay. It was delayed, and you are trying to get information. However, you are not getting proper feedback. Those are the cases that we deal with. Some people even lodge disputes, with SARS and say, because they have a dispute resolution process as well. They lodge the dispute, but they were given a particular time frame to say, we'll come back to you after either 80 days or so, 30 days, especially when these complaints are complicated, cases are complicated. Then you interfere in the process. Remember, once any communication that you do with SARS is recorded, so you interfere in that 80-day period, then it will just, elongate the period for you that the matter should be resolved. At times, SARS does not act on information or correspondence that you have given to substantiate or support the assessments that you have made, and maybe they are ignored or they are not being used. Those are the complaints that we get, and we also do get cases here where somebody has made a compromise. You owe SARS so much, you approach them and say, look, I can't afford this much, but I have this much. Can we talk? And they don't come back to you, and then you feel aggrieved. Then we get those type of cases as well. And we also have cases where there's also delays in coding the taxpayer's profile as a deceased estate and updating the executor's contact details. Remember, if we have deceased estates, some of the deceased people were breadwinners, and you find that now the family is sitting with the situation where they are unable to access money from the deceased, and these processes, they delay those things. So these are typical complaints that we see from our side, and we definitely attend to them at the speed that we can. However, we respect the processes that are there, and we do at times have people complaining about repeat verification cases or audit for that matter. Some people will say, no, I'm always being audited.
Yes.
Every time they audit me, why me? Why does it take so long? So, and we agree with people to say, look, and you are right as well, that if you are being audited, there must be finality of that auditing process. So you need to know, when will this be finalized? So one of those rights are there as well. And, it reminds me quickly of a number of rights, like, for example, we, the Office of the Tax Ombud or SARS employees, they cannot take information, your tax matters, and go talk about them in public. And unless if you go and talk about your tax matters in public, then SARS will be forced to come and defend themselves. And it can be a serious matter if I can talk about your tax affairs to any other person. Your tax affairs are being talked directly to you, or a representative that you would have appointed, who would have filled in appropriate forms to ensure that they represent you, and we cannot discuss these things anywhere else. And I've spoken about finality, and I also say that you are also entitled to complain without fear of victimization. It's your matters, they need to be attended to. I just took a few opportunity to talk about a few there as well.
All right. A family member is asking, Sibongile, please ask Ntate Mamabolo, can an auditing take more than a year?
8 years.
A year. 1 year.
A year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't say specifically yes or no, but I am aware that in terms of complicated tax matters, at times it can take time. But a year to me sounds too long. One can also approach SARS and find out why is it taking so long. But you need to engage with them. And if you are not happy, lodge a complaint with the Complaints Management Office, and then immediately after they take time or they don't come back to you, then you can come to us. We should be able to assist you with that complaint that you have.
All right. Another one says, is it true that we can report companies that we suspect they might be eating taxpayers' monies? I've heard of such people doing that. Okay.
Definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. If they are, we are aware that there are unscrupulous people out there, and if you are not happy with the person that you are using to manage your tax affairs, if they commit any wrong or you suspect there's any wrongdoing, I think SARS, they have the avenues where they can accommodate those complaints. Because remember, tax practitioners, accountants, they are registered as well with professional bodies who regulate their behavior as well. So if they are found to be, on the wrong side, obviously, one is entitled to complain with SARS. Again, I'm not talking on their behalf because I'm aware. You need to complain. Take your matter with SARS. From our side, our mandate is only limited to that extent. We only deal with complaints, and that's what we do best from our side.
All right, let's take a break and then come back and wrap it up with you, Ntate Mamabolo. And family, we are going to take the sounds of JC Zwe. So good on Skomtrech.
This is Heart to Heart with Sibongile Mofokeng on Radio Pulpit. Heart to Heart.
Wondering where to advertise? Get your business advertising sorted for the year. Receive a discount of up to 50% included in our Radio Pulpit advertising packages. Also, get 2 advertising packages per month for the price of 1 when you advertise for 12 months or more. Business package rates start from under 6,000 Rand per package. Send your details to gospel@radiopulpit.co.za and we will contact you, or visit radiopulpit.co.za. T's and C's apply.
Share our passion for life on 657 AM.
That's where you're at, and we're sitting on 14 minutes just before 3, just before Germany. You're else on something else. But right now, it's still Heart to Heart. Gave you the sounds of Pastor J. Sizwe. J. Sizwe says, so good. And I am not alone. Ek praat oor, or ek praat met meneer Russel Mamabolo. And he's the specialist communication and outreach at the Office of the Tax Ombud. And we are learning more about the tax Ombud. If you didn't know, now you know that you get tax rights as a tax payer, and that your rights do matter. And I think, in the coming months, we need to know more about these rights. But hey, today we are right here learning more about who the tax Ombud is. And Ntate Mamabolo, what is the advice that you have for our taxpayers who are frustrated with such complaints that you have mentioned earlier on?
Yes. Thanks once more, Sibongile. We are saying, the Office of the Tax Ombud is available. It's an alternative recourse when you are frustrated or you have complaints with SARS. So we are again calling and making a calling that please use our services. Our services are free for that matter. We are a government entity, and all the services that we provide is free. So one is much welcome to contact us. I'll give you the details. Our website as well. It is accessible. It has a lot of information that one can learn from. Mm-hmm. So we are calling whoever who's listening now, and if you can just pass the way and share with other individual taxpayers and even businesses. A lot of business approach us with complex tax complaints. We assist them. They leave our offices very happy. So we are saying, please use our free services. We won't charge you anything from our side.
So what is the website again where we can access?
Oh, yes. The website is www.taxombud.gov.za. And then we also have a toll-free line. It's 0800 662 837. And also we have an email address, complaints@taxombud.gov.za. But also what is interesting, we have a publication. We refer to it as Fairness for All. This publication, we regularly issue it out where it captures the one of the complaints that we received, because this complaint somebody might have a similar one. So we share this information through these publications. Then we capture the complaint, how we have investigated the complaint, what were the lessons that we have learned out of this complaint. Of course, we don't share the details or who is the specific person that shared that, but we think some of the complaints that we capture in this publication, they can shed more light to other people that are out there who might be having similar complaints. So yes, those are our contact details. Oh, we also have walk-ins here. Our offices are in Main Lane. We are on the second floor, Main Lane corner, 87 Freki de Beer Street. If you happen to be in Main Lane, just opposite the big shopping center around here, you are most welcome to come through. You don't have to make an appointment with us. You can come through and then we can attend to you. We are also active on our social media pages on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and Instagram. So
And your handles there?
Office of the Tax Ombud, and then Tax Ombud. I think those are web handles that can be used.
Okay, a family member says, as we are closing, because now there's no longer time, a family member says, I am retired and I feel that I am still overtaxed as a pensioner. Can I approach the tax ombud?
Look, we do handle, we are aware that there are also pensioners who have issues on tax. More especially, it's technicalities that needs to be understood. Where you have money and then all of a sudden it comes, you get payment every month out of that money, and obviously then you have to pay for tax for that. So those clarity issues, SARC is doing their part to explain that. But remember, if you are there as well as on retirement and then you also have a tax complaint, you follow the same process that we have highlighted, and then you will end up with us, and we should be able to help you with your tax complaint.
Wow, thank you so much, Ntate Mamabolo, for talking to us. I'm hoping that this is a journey that we are going to take longer than today, together with the Office of the Tax Ombud. I hope it doesn't stop today.
Yeah, we will share the publications, and then when times allow, we can discuss those because they even give you even the direct examples on the typical complaints that we receive from our office.
And how you handled it and what's to be expected if I'm going through the same. Wow, thank you so much for highlighting these, and may God awesomely bless you, sir. We'll be talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much for inviting us as well. We appreciate it.
Have a blessed one. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
And yes, family, that is the Office of the Tax Ombud. And let me just give you the website again. It's www.taxombud.gov.za. It's www.taxombud.gov.za. Remember that they are on LinkedIn, they are on Facebook, Instagram as the Office of the Ombud, the Office of the Ombud. And go there, learn more. Go there if you really need, but go to their site about what and how they were handled, and also find out if you're also eligible for the Tax Ombud office to can engage in your issues and help you where your tax is concerned, be it you're a pensioner or not. I'm signing out. I had a wonderful time today just seeing the goodness of the Lord. I hope that all that we had for you has been a blessing, has been uplifting, and has been also enriching and empowering. And I am going to leave you with the sounds of Oliver Boers featuring Takindo, I Trust You. Let's keep trusting in the Lord in all that we are, in all that we do. Let's put him first. Let him be our first place to go to before anything and everybody else. Let him be at the forefront. And I'm leaving you. Next up is Germany, Johan else with something else. And may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the sweet fellowship of the Lord Holy Spirit rest and abide with you now and forevermore. In Jesus' mighty name, amen and amen. And we say hello to Cape Town. Hello to Germany. Johan else.